It's January 19th, 2021, and this is Sketchworks NewsBrake. The news stops here. I'm Brian Troxell. President-elect Joe Biden will be sworn in tomorrow, bringing with him a $1.9 trillion COVID relief plan. Meanwhile, in Vermont, a dog and a goat, who have both served as mayors in the town of Fairhaven, have together raised $50,000 toward the renovation of a local playground. Clearly, this town has it right and knows that politics shouldn't belong to donkeys and elephants, but to goats and dogs. It's nice to see bipartisanship resulting in something good. Now on to the news about our garbage political class in Washington. White House insiders say Donald Trump has essentially stopped working, leaving the responsibilities of running the United States to Vice President Mike Pence. According to reports, Trump isn't pouting over his loss of the election, or more importantly, his Twitter account. No, they say he's been spending all of his time on Google, trying to figure out what the hell WandaVision is about. Reports from the White House say President Trump is furious every time he is compared to the late President Richard Nixon, who resigned from office in 1974 as a result of his own abuse of executive powers. Once and for all, Trump wants everyone to know he is a way worse president than Nixon was. Way worse. One of the duties Trump left to Pence is apparently conceding the election. The vice president has reportedly called Kamala Harris to congratulate her on the win, offer help during the transition, and tell her what the secret code for ordering pay-per-view is. Pence also told Ms. Harris not to worry about any nooses left around the Capitol building, as they were meant for him. The FBI is tracking down and arresting more and more people who stormed the U.S. Capitol during last week's riot. Many of the people arrested boasted on social media about their exploits. Others used social media to coordinate the insurrection. Kind of makes those annoying Farmville invites seem almost okay. Authorities tracking down these Capitol rioters have an unlikely ally: singles ready to mingle. Women on dating apps are intentionally matching with men who were in D.C. during the riot and reporting them to the FBI. So remember, guys, when a girl says she likes a bad boy, there's a limit. Olympic gold medal winning swimmer Cleet Keller was part of the mob that stormed the Capitol and was spotted because of his USA jacket and 6'6" frame. Looks like he played a felony game of Marco Polo. As mentioned at the top of the show, Joe Biden announced his proposal for a COVID stimulus plan costing upwards of $1.9 trillion. And with the national debt at $28 trillion, that money will be repaid on a similar schedule as student loans for a gender studies degree. Never. Biden has named top geneticist Eric Lander as his scientific advisor. Wait a minute. Nationwide vaccinations being carried out. Scientific advisor is a top geneticist. Biden wants to change our genetic makeup. Don't you see? It all fits. I'll talk more about this on my QAnon podcast. CNN President Jeff Zucker announced that he will be shutting down the CNN airport network. This tragic news means travelers must look elsewhere for offensive background noise at 5 in the morning. The California National Guard is in search of a man who broke into their facility and stole a Hummer. Police believe the suspect is a time-traveling douchebag from the year 2005. The National Rifle Association filed for bankruptcy and plans to incorporate in Texas. The well-known gun rights group is fighting a lawsuit that accuses its executives of fraud and financial abuse. Who would have thought that a year without school shootings would be bad for the NRA? In a story from our, yeah, that sounds about right department, Sketchworks NewsBrake correspondent Tim Millard tells us a study proves what a lot of us know. 2020 was downright depressing.
I didn't even want to come out from underneath my blanket because 2021 is shaping up to be a real shit show. And judging by the results of a study from New Mexico State University, neither do many of you. That study found depression and anxiety doubled in 2020 thanks to COVID-19. A strained healthcare system means many of those mental health illnesses will be untreated. And all that doom scrolling we're doing, it's not helping either. Let me be serious for a moment. If you're at the breaking point, you feel like you need help, reach out for it because you deserve it. As for me, I'm going back underneath my blanket. For Sketchworks NewsBrake, I'm Tim Allard.
Thank you, Tim. 2021 has actually been pretty good to me so far. I'm sure that will change. Thursday, it was announced the command headquarters for the U.S. Space Force will be in Huntsville, Alabama. This was the logical location, as most reports of alien abduction and probing are made by residents of Alabama. Wine and grapevines that have spent the last year in orbit at the International Space Station have been sent back down to Earth. So that's what the astronauts have been doing up there. A Sex and the City movie reboot is back, this time without Kim Cattrall, who plays Samantha. So now the title is just In the City. Macaulay Culkin voiced his support of removing Donald Trump from the 1992 film Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. From New Jersey, actor Joe Pesci chimed in, saying, "Yeah, can you take me out of that too?" China reported its first COVID-19 death after 8 months of no fatalities. The Chinese remarkable achievement in disease prevention was accomplished through what the scientific community refers to as lying. Governor Phil Murphy announced New Jersey will now offer the COVID vaccine to additional citizens, including people who are morbidly obese, smokers, and the mentally disabled. So basically the entire state. A California man who says COVID-19 made him too afraid to fly and had been living inside a restricted area of Chicago's O'Hare Airport since October was arrested Saturday and charged with criminal trespassing. Some people will do anything to avoid flying on Spirit Airlines. As punishment, he was sentenced to continue living inside Chicago's O'Hare Airport. In a statement, the man said Tom Hanks lied to him. California will ramp up its COVID-19 vaccine distribution by adding additional sites, such as Disneyland. The theme park was chosen since they specialize in people waiting in long lines only to get dizzy and vomit right after. Bruce Willis was asked to leave a Los Angeles Rite Aid for refusing to wear a mask. I guess he really wants to die hard. What the hell was Bruce Willis doing in a Rite Aid? Doesn't he have people for that? Nicole Kidman reveals the disturbing impact filming the show The Undoing had on her body, as her immune system doesn't know the difference between acting and truth. This was also the same reasoning for her divorce from Tom Cruise. Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner are reportedly paying $3,000 per month for their Secret Service to use the restroom at a neighbor's house instead of using it at their own home. We have the inside scoop on this report straight from someone inside the White House.
Hey, I'm Tricia. I work down here at Accounts Payable here at the White House. Now, I'm supposed to just pay checks and not ask questions. But I have to say, when Jared and Ivanka's expense report came through, I was a bit confused about why they wanted to pay $3,000 to the neighbors next door so the Secret Service could use the restroom. I mean, they have 6.5 baths, which is really 7 urination stations. But they put on their notes that they needed a couple restrooms to freshen up in, and a couple restrooms to tinkle in, and a couple restrooms to drop bombs. And they were sending the Secret Service, the one that actually protects them from bombs, down to Arby's to use the restroom. So I obviously approved that expense. Crazy. Americans don't even have a pot to piss in. Secret Service can't even get a porta potty. But Jared and Ivanka got 7 urination stations.
Thank you, Tricia. In NFL playoff news, the Packers packed away the Rams, the Bills beat the Ravens, and then Bills Mafia donated over $150,000 to the favorite charity of Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson. Patrick Mahomes left with a concussion, and Tom Brady couldn't get a high five. Don't you have enough already, Tom Brady? The FCC has fined a white supremacist for nearly 5,000 robocalls, stirring up racial prejudices against political candidates of color. However, the fine was not for the calls themselves, but because he faked the caller ID. The ruling comes as a reminder that America is okay if you're racist, but just send a text, for crying out loud. A retired Catholic cardinal in Mexico claims COVID vaccines contain a satanic microchip designed to control you. That is clearly and obviously incorrect. The microchip is only designed to make you listen to heavy metal music. Speaking of Satan, a historic landmark important to the Church of Satan in Poughkeepsie, New York, has been set ablaze in what one church member, who goes by the name ISIS, has called a terrorist attack. The church member went on to say, "Whoever did this is going to be hexed by all of us. Now there's going to be hell to pay." Thoughts and prayers from all of us here at Sketchworks Comedy. Sad news from London. One of the ravens who makes its home at the Tower of London has been missing for several weeks and is feared dead. However, there is another explanation. It flew away. Dolly Parton may get a statue on the Capitol grounds in Tennessee, as a lawmaker is introducing a bill to honor the singer. The holdup is trying to find a granite finisher that can handle the installation of the top-heavy structure so it doesn't tumble over. Betty White turns 99. The beloved comedic actress told People magazine that one of the keys to long life includes having a good agent who keeps me busy all the time. Additionally, outliving every single actress in your age category ensures that you can book 100% of the roles. Americans saw the largest drop in life expectancy since 1980 last year. The average U.S. citizen will die 1.13 years earlier than previously expected, at 77.48 years old. The precipitous plunge began about the same time that Netflix gave Gwyneth Paltrow her own show about shoving stuff up your hoo-ha. So make of that what you will. Nestle is recalling 760,000 pounds of pepperoni Hot Pockets after they discovered the packages may contain dangerous items, such as glass, hard plastic, and worst of all, Hot Pockets. And that's all for Sketchworks NewsBrake. We'll be back next week, and we hope you are too. I'm Brian Troxell. Say hi to your mom for me. Ask her how her Hot Pocket is doing.
No, it's still 2021.
Oh man, it's dark under here.